BYU football put the pads on at spring football practice. Mitch Harper here with KSLSports.com. The Cougars went inside to the indoor practice facility on Monday because there was, some rain potentially in the forecast. It was clear skies when practice occurred, but then in the evening there were some rainy conditions in the Salt Lake and Utah County valleys. But BYU football, a little bit more physicality we saw on Monday, and it was pretty fun to see. And I was really impressed by, McKay Hillstead. I thought he was one of my takeaways coming out of Monday's practice. I thought McKay Hillstead had some really nice plays in that backup quarterback spot. And Aaron Roderick, the offensive coordinator for BYU's, made it clear that he really likes these quarterbacks with Hillstead and Bourguet. Only 3 quarterbacks in the QB unit this spring. And I thought Hillstead, who's contending for that number 2 spot behind Retzlaff, I thought he had some really nice plays. You know about his athletic ability, but his arm strength was on display. I thought his decision-making, he made some really nice throws on Monday. There was one throw that he intended for LeMason Waller that was thrown in double coverage. Could have been an interception. I think Cialia Serra was there in coverage. That was a poor decision. You got to clean that up. But by all accounts, I liked what I saw from Hillstead. He had a nice throw on the run to his right to Koa Eldridge. Eldridge, of course, started his BYU career 2 years ago as a safety, or a wide receiver, switched to safety last year. Now he's back at wide receiver. He had that catch from Hillstead. That was a really nice play. There was also a deep ball from Hillstead intended for Marquise Taliulu, former Cal transfer. It was a nicely thrown ball deep down the field, but Marquise couldn't come up with the catch, and that's one he's got to come up with. He was draped all over by Marcus McKenzie, who was in coverage. But again, you like the ball placement from McKay Hillstead. I just thought he had a really strong showing outside of that one throw that was thrown into double coverage. I thought it was a really nice afternoon for Hillstead. Trayson Bourguet, I think, was solid too. He had a nice gain to Weston Covey, who had a first down grab, and it moved the chains. But there was also a throw near the sideline that was somewhat wildly inaccurate. And those little things like that, add into, projecting who could be that number 2 quarterback after Jake Retzlaff. Now, Roderick noted that they're not going to, rush this decision. If they need to take the backup quarterback battle into fall camp, they will. But I think in many cases, I think this staff would like to know who they feel comfortably is going to be that 2 deep, at least the starters. They know that at quarterback. But what this depth chart's going to look like coming out of spring ball, because then that gives you the chance to really plug and play. If you need to go into the post-spring portal and add someone, you can really identify your needs as a team to fill those gaps going forward. Did see Emerson Geilman, Bountiful High quarterback who's committed to BYU. He could potentially join the team in fall. He talked to me a couple months ago when he committed to BYU. He's got plans to serve a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, but does he come a year and then go on the mission? We'll see what happens there. But he was at practice. He was also at practice last Thursday at the student-athlete building as well. Another guy that caught my attention on Monday, and he's deep on the depth chart at running back, but Logan Payne, I thought he had some nice shiftiness. He's a good athlete. He's the son of former BYU kicker and punter Matt Payne, and he's wearing his dad's number 38 in that backfield. Now, coming out of high school, really good football player, and I was kind of surprised that not many more schools were pursuing him, and I thought, this guy's just a baller. He can game. He's just a gamer, and goes on the mission, comes back, preferred walk-on at BYU, and I thought he had a little bit of shiftiness, and he was kind of like a ping-pong ball bouncing off the defenders to get, a 7-8 yard gain. I thought he did a nice job on Monday. Now, BYU's got running backs. LJ Martin was there, Sione Moa, Enoch Nawahine. You saw a little bit of Jovesa Damuni. You got Pokai Honga. You've got options if you're BYU, but Logan Payne, like we saw that same story last year with Sione Moa, hey, he's giving you glimpses. He's moving the chains. That's all you can ask for. He's putting you in a spot where you're in a second and manageable rather than a 2nd and 9. Between all the running backs that I saw during the team portion on Monday, I really liked Logan Payne, what I saw from him. Now, he looked to be with what appeared to be the third-team offense against the third-team defense. Again, that's all fluid. It can change, but at least based on some of the personnel groupings, that's what it looked to be out there for Logan Payne. But he really caught my attention. I thought he was pretty shifty, good speed, nice burst. I thought Payne looked pretty good. I also liked what I saw from Talon Alfrey. Talon Alfrey's a veteran senior safety for this BYU defense. Sometimes I think gets forgotten. He had a nice stop on Keelan Marion. It was a screen pass from Jake Retzloff to Marion, and it was a nice play by Talon Alfrey. Jake Retzloff, we bring him up. I thought he had a really nice throw, some of his decision-making. Retzloff sat in the pocket, moved up into that pocket, and connected with Carson Ryan for a nice completion. I thought that was a really nice ball from Jake. He had a deep ball, too. That was a well-thrown pass down the field to JoJo Phillips. JoJo didn't catch it. You got to catch that ball, JoJo. I mean, that's needed to really elevate your stock within the program, and missed opportunity by him, but it does highlight that JoJo's a guy they love to go deep with. I mean, you saw it last year. Late in that Arizona State game, they're targeting him deep. He averaged 21 yards per catch a season ago, but he's got to come up with those when he gets those opportunities from the first-team QB. It was kind of fun during the team portion of practices. We saw the offense, whatever offensive unit was out there. If there was ever a first down, the offensive teammates, that's another Cougar first down, getting into it. I mean, that's been a common thing for many years, but it's always fun to hear that energy kind of bringing the juice even in March. I mean, it's March 3rd. Still a long way to go until BYU takes on Portland State to kick off the 2025 season, but bringing that intensity, bringing that competitiveness, you do like to see, and that's going to be something that's fun to watch throughout spring, how competitive this team is. And you see that from someone like a Keanu Tanavasa, who I asked Jay Hill about this on Monday after practice. Are they expecting Tanavasa to be a leader of this team? And he said absolutely. And Jay Hill loves where the leadership is at on this defense and feels it could be even better than last year's defense. And that's a promising sign, because that was critical to last year's success, was the leadership of the team. And to have guys like Tanavasa, Jack Kelly, Glasker, Tanner Wall, that's big for BYU. Those are going to be some of the leaders of this defense in 2025. But pretty productive day for BYU. We saw a little bit of punt team as well. There was one punt that a poorly kicked ball by Sam Vanderhaar, but I don't think it's anything to worry about per se. He's going to be the starting punter for BYU this season. So that'll do it for this practice wrap-up of BYU football spring practice from Monday, March 3rd. Go check out all the coverage on KSLSports.com.